Okay, is it clear to all that why are we not starting Yoga Upanishad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Some student I know some like Usha Sri ma'am and one more ma'am was there in quiz. After some days, I will be knowing most of you. Okay, I will make co-admin one of you who is going to be till last. Then I will make co-admin.
You can make me.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, so we will start diet and nutrition. So this is syllabus of diet and nutrition. Actually, in previous batch, I used to teach this in both in Hindi and English. So you can ignore this Hindi part. Notes are in both Hindi and English. So you can ignore this Hindi part and we will concentrate only on this English part. So this is syllabus of diet and nutrition. Actually, we have three subjects in a single unit. First one is anatomy and physiology. Second one is psychology, and third one is diet and nutrition. These three subjects form the basic scientific temperament of your yoga knowledge. Like,
Sir, are you
is
sharing the screen, sir?
okay. Is it not visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, sir, not visible.
Sorry. Is there any background noise from my side?
No, sir.
Okay then. So how many of you are known to this topic, diet and nutrition, like carbohydrates, protein, fats? How many of you have basic understanding of all these? Okay, we have Sangeeta ma'am and Sai Manoj ma'am. Okay. Only two friends have a basic understanding. Don't worry about that. If you are having basic understanding, then you will have a better understanding on this topic. In case if this topic is new to you can do one thing, just do exponential revision. Exponential revision will be very useful in most of the Upanishad and in most of the topic of paper 2. I will try to explain. Like today is our first class. So after this class, try to revise this whole class. After second class, try to revise notes of first class and second class also. When we will be completing third class, you can revise all three classes like first class, second class, third class. So if you are studying a new topic, you should cover all the previous topic. I will aim to cover all the diet and nutrition in 10 to 12 classes. So after 10 to 12 classes, if you are doing exponential revision, then you don't have to revise it at the time of net exam. You can just revise it in 1 hour, 2 hour, then it will be helpful for you. So try to revise like exponentially. This is called exponential revision and it is very much important for new subject. Like in Upanishad also, if you are reading first Upanishad, that is Isavasya Upanishad. So after class, revise that Isavasya Upanishad. The next class, you will be taught Keno Upanishad. So after class, revise that Isavasya Upanishad and Keno Upanishad both. Similarly, after third class, revise all the three Upanishads. So if you are revising like this, at first it will take some time, but it will be very useful for you at the end. So try to revise diet and nutrition like this, and you will have no difficulty at the end. One more thing, if you are having any doubt, you can ask it anytime. There is no need to ask doubt at the end of class. In my class, you can ask doubt at any time because we are reading a science subject. And if you are having doubt in some knowledge, then you will not connect afterwards. So whenever you have a doubt, you can ask at that time only. So this is our syllabus. As I told you, this is part of sixth. I'm confused, like sixth or seventh unit. Sixth or seventh unit is composed of three subjects: anatomy and physiology, psychology, and this is third one, diet and nutrition. There will be 4 to 5 questions from diet and nutrition. Sometimes there are even sixth question, but mostly there are 4 to 5 questions. So we have 5 units here. In first unit, we will read basic concept and components of food and nutrition. And we will understand nutrition terminology in relation to nutrition requirement. Next is human nutritional requirement. Now we will simplify this syllabus. Actually, this syllabus have many repeating terms, like many terms are repeated in first unit, and those all terms will be repeated in second unit. So we will classify the syllabus and we will try to simplify the syllabus. So in first unit, we will have basic a concept of and components of food and nutrition. In this, we will read about carbohydrate, protein, fat, mineral and vitamins. In third unit also, you can see balanced diet concept, carbohydrate, protein, minerals, and these vitamins. These all are also in third unit. So we will cover first unit and third unit in a single time. Like we will first start with balanced diet concept. In this balanced diet concept, we will cover carbohydrate, we will cover protein, we will cover fat, we will cover vitamins, we will cover minerals, and along with this third unit, our first unit will be completed automatically. Like we don't have to cover this afterward. When we cover this third unit, our first unit will be covered. Like you can see in this, there is also classification like macronutrient. Macronutrient are carbohydrate, protein, and fat. You can see water soluble nutrient. Water soluble nutrient are water soluble vitamin. So we will start from third unit, from balanced diet we will start. And if we will explain balanced diet, if we will understand completely the concept of balanced diet, all our first unit and third unit will be completed. So today we will start the concept of balanced diet, and when we will finish this balanced diet, you will have no confusion in any topic of first unit and third unit. So these both unit are almost one. So we can conclude this as our first unit. After our first unit, we will move towards this unit, food groups. First, we are just studying the microbiology of our food, like what is carbohydrate, what is protein, what is fat. All this we will cover in our first unit. Then we will move toward macrobiology. This is microbiology. Sorry, I don't have a digitizer today. From tomorrow, I will use digitizer, so it won't be any problem. This is microbiology of food, like carbohydrate, protein, fat, what is metabolism of carbohydrate, what is metabolism of protein, what is metabolism of fat. We will read all this in our first unit and third unit. Then in our fourth unit, we will read macrobiology of food. Macrobiology means what is the benefit to have cereals, what is the benefit to have millets, what nutritive values all our food group contain, like what is in pulses, what is in nuts, what is the benefit to have pulses, what if we not have pulses, what if we not have nuts. So this is macrobiology. So if we are having good concept of microbiology, then we can easily understand macrobiology. After that, so these two units will cover the biology of food. First one is microbiology, this unit and this unit. After that, we will move towards macrobiology of food. What we will study in this microbiology, we will use that in our macrobiology. Like what is the proportion of carbohydrate, protein and fat in pulses? What is the proportion of protein, carbohydrate, fat in nuts? How many vitamins are present in all these pulses, all these nuts, honey, sprouts? So we will read all this. After this, this is also a very important unit. This is food and metabolism. We can say this is actually thermodynamics of our body, like how much energy we are gaining with carbohydrate, how much energy we are gaining with protein, what happens to that energy in our body, what happens if we are not having enough quantity of energy, what if we are having over quantity of energy. So all these concepts we will study in our last unit. So this is very much important and very much interesting unit, food and metabolism. In this unit we will cover the concept of like metabolism, what is basal metabolic rate, and by the understanding of metabolism you can do many things, like you can prepare a diet chart for hyperthyroidism, you can prepare a diet chart for hypothyroidism, what is the concept of diet in obesity, what is the concept of diet in undernutrition, why some people can't gain weight. All these questions will be answered if you have understanding of metabolism. So this is very important unit, food and metabolism. One thing I also want to add in this so that you will not be confused. There we can see that we also have metabolism of carbohydrate. We also have metabolism of lipid. We also have metabolism of protein. So all these metabolism of carbohydrate, lipid and protein, we will cover in first unit. Like when we cover balanced diet, we will be studying carbohydrate in detail. We will cover this metabolism of carbohydrate, lipid and protein here itself. Then in last unit, we will only talk about energy, metabolism of energy. At last, we will discuss yogic concept of food. Yogic concept of diet and nutrition. Like we will study three texts in this, like what is the concept of food according to Bhagavad Gita, what is the concept of food according to Hat Pradipika. Like in Hat Pradipika, you have read about Mitahar, Suisnigdha Madhurahar, Chaturthans Vivarjite. All these slokas you have gone through. We will read all these sloka here. So yogic concept of diet and nutrition and its relevance in management of lifestyle, we will read here. So is any doubt in syllabus of our diet and nutrition?
Sir, are you covering diseases?
Sorry?
Diseases, sir. Diseases related to the vitamins and minerals. If there is a deficiency, there are some.
Yeah, when we cover nutrients, when we cover balanced diet, like when we cover balanced diet, we will cover all the nutrients inside all nutrients. Like if we discuss about carbohydrate, we will discuss what is carbohydrate, what is formula of carbohydrate, what is diseases caused by deficiency of carbohydrate, what is excess of carbohydrate, what is metabolism of carbohydrate, what are sources of carbohydrate. All the things we will be covering.
Sir.
Sorry. So one more important thing is that our goal is to prepare for UGC NET and JRF. Everyone is here for just UGC NET and JRF. So it will also be not good if we are covering very much of syllabus which is not included in NET and JRF. Although it is a very interesting subject, we want to know more and more, but we will keep our limits so that you can use that remaining time in any other subject. But definitely this knowledge of diet and nutrition, even though we are just reading for UGC NET and JRF, it will be very much helpful in understanding our own diet, in understanding some diseases, in understanding some concept of energy. It will be helpful in our daily life also. So you can read afterwards, you will get an idea that from where you can read for what you should read. Afterwards, you can start on your own. It's up to your interest. So this is our syllabus. Okay, so let's start our first topic, balanced diet. So balanced diet, what is balanced diet? Balanced diet, actually diet means what we are eating, what is in our meal, that is our diet. And balanced diet means actually diet have 6 components. These 6 components are, I will write it here, carbohydrate, protein, fat, vitamins, and minerals. And the next one is, which one is remaining here? Which component of diet is remaining here?
Micronutrients or
Micronutrients are vitamins and minerals itself.
okay. So water.
Yeah, water is very important component. So carbohydrate, protein, fat, vitamin, minerals, and water. These are 6 components of our diet. So it's very easy. What is balanced diet? If all these 6 components are present in balanced amount, then it will called as a balanced diet. Like how much our body need carbohydrate, if that amount is present in our food, how much our body need protein, if that amount of protein present in our food, and similarly for all nutrients, if all our nutritional requirement is getting fulfilled by our diet, then we can say that we are having a balanced diet. So balanced diet means all the nutrients should have a specific amount in our food that is necessary for our body. If our food has a low amount of nutrition, then we will generate some symptoms of undernutrition. Like if our diet don't have proper quantity of carbohydrate, then what will happen? Carbohydrate is essential for energy. Carbohydrate is basically the first function of carbohydrate is to provide energy. If we are not having enough quantity of carbohydrate in our diet, then what will happen? We will experience weakness, we will experience many things. After that, similarly, this is for protein, this is for fat, vitamins, minerals, and water. So again, there is one more condition. If carbohydrate is present in more quantity than we need, then what happens? That remaining quantity will make us obese. So balanced diet, as it is very much as it is very much clear by the name itself that balanced diet is that diet in which all the nutrients are present in balanced proportion. It shouldn't be low than our requirement and it shouldn't be high than our requirement. So balanced diet contributes towards maintaining a healthy life. If we are not having all the required nutrients, then what happen? We develop some deficiency symptoms. Like if we are not having vitamin A, we can develop night blindness. Our eyes can generate power, like our eyes. In our eyes there are two pigment like rod cells and cone cells are there. So if we are not having enough quantity of vitamin A, our rod and cone cells can be degraded. So balanced diet contributes towards maintaining a healthy life. A diet is the inclusion of different necessary nutrients that impact body growth and development. In our balanced diet, there are various nutrients present that impact our body growth and development. How these nutrients impact our body growth and development, that we will read afterwards when we are reading in detail, like what carbohydrate is doing in our body, what fat is doing in our body. All these things we will discuss. Okay. Okay, this is the definition of, you can say, definition of balanced diet. A balanced diet contains a balanced amount of protein, carbohydrate, fats, vitamins, and minerals. There is one thing in this, some people include water and some people do not include water in this. Although water is also a nutrient, but it don't have any calorific value. So in many books, you will see water here, and in many books, like in this also, we didn't include water. So don't confuse on that. Simply, balanced diet is a diet in which there is balanced amount of all the nutrients. So a balanced diet containing all the essential nutrients like carbohydrate, protein, vitamins, fat, minerals, and water in correct proportion. This correct proportion is very much important. Like in which proportion our body needs all the nutrients, in that proportion, all the nutrients should be present in our diet. So all these are some points related to balanced diet. Balanced diet is important for our body normal growth and development. A balanced diet can be achieved by eating a variety of food items. There is no single food item with the correct amount of all the essential nutrients. This is, we can say this is very simple point, but once UGC asks from this line only, like what is wrong in relation of balanced diet. So for achieving balanced diet, you should have variety of food. There are 4 or 5 food groups. We will discuss that food group in this PPT afterward. If you want all the nutrients, you should have variety of food. You can't gain all the nutrients from a single food source. Like you should have grains, you should have vegetables, you should have fruits, you should have dairy product. So if you are having a variety of food in your diet, then you can get that balanced diet. It is impossible to get all the nutrients from a single food or even from a single food group. Next, this line is also very much important. Like balanced diet always differ with age, sex, physical activities taken by an individual. Like children need some different proportion of carbohydrate and protein. Adults need some different composition of carbohydrate and protein. A best example is that when we are in growing stage, like we are 11, 12, 13, we are having that much age, we need more quantity of protein. Protein is very much essential for us. But If we are in older age, like we are in our 50s, we are in our 60s, then we don't need that much protein. If we will have very much protein at that time, then there is chance that we can develop kidney diseases. All these points we will discuss later. I am just giving example. So all these things are matter very much, like age, gender, and physical activities. If we talk about gender, there are very much changes in male and female. Like if we talk about iron, female needs more iron as compared to male. And if it was like uh, pregnant condition, in that condition, female needs far more amount of iron. Physical activity also matter. It is also we can say it is also a common sense that if you are doing much physical activity, then you will need more carbohydrate. If you are not doing that much physical activity, then you don't have that much need of nutrients. Even mental activity needs a lot of carbohydrate. Okay. Eating a balanced diet requires a certain amount of knowledge and planning. It requires a certain amount of knowledge, like from where we can find carbohydrate, from where we can include protein in our diet. All these type of knowledge we will get in these sessions. Okay, this is also an important point. Like balanced diet is highly variable as it changes from country to country depending upon the availability of food items. In study of diet and nutrition, I have done diploma, post-graduation diploma in diet and nutrition. What is the biggest, we can say, what is the biggest challenge in study of diet and nutrition is that most of the books of diet and nutrition are written by foreign writers, like writers of America, writers of UK, but uh, diet habits are very much variable as if we talk about change in countries. Like we Indians have different dietary habits. In America, people have different dietary habits. People have different types of body. People have different types of availability of food. In our country, wheat is available easily, but if we go towards Middle East, wheat is not that much available as compared to us. So the basic composition of balanced diet is also highly variable from place to place. We can also see a variability in India itself. Like northern region, people have different diet. Southern region, people have different diet. What we can conclude that in southern region, because southern region is more close to equator, so they are having more temperature, so they mostly use rice. But if we move toward north, they mostly use wheat because rice is having a cold nature. In Ayurveda, rice is having sheath prakriti, cold nature. So you generally see that people of Chhattisgarh, people of these states generally use rice because there is very much temperature in that region. So they are using rice. In northern region, you can see like in Himachal, in Uttarakhand, people use very less amount of rice. They mostly use wheat and all. So this is also highly variable. Diet composition, if we talk about balanced diet, it is highly variable from place to place. Okay, next, this full form UGC asked, I think 2020 UGC asked about this full form, RDA. So RDA is recommended dietary allowance. Recommended dietary allowance, as you can see by its name, recommended dietary allowance means the proportion of balanced diet we are being recommended. Now, who is recommending? This is Indian Council of Medical Research. I will share a PDF of ICMR. It is not for UGC net purpose. It is for general purpose. On that PDF, you can see that ICMR has recommended various proportion of nutrients to various groups, like for female, for males, for children. ICMR has very beautifully classified all the groups and recommended all the dietary proportion. So for every country, there is some RDA. For our RDA, it is being fixed by ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. If we talk about America, then they have some other agency. The major components of balanced diet include cereals, pulses, roots and tubers, fruit, milk and dairy product, fats and oil, sugar, groundnuts. These all are components of balanced diet. Afterwards, we will classify all these components into 4 or 5 food groups. So this is basic concept of balanced diet. Although it don't have very much information in this, but it will make your base. And when we will start carbohydrate and all, then you will require all these base. You will require all these understanding. So I am taking some time in introduction of balanced diet. So do you have any question till now?
No, sir.
Okay. So importance of balanced diet. This is also very also based on common sense. Like if we don't having proper amount of carbohydrate, then our body will be having deficiency of carbohydrate, and all the functions that are being done by carbohydrate in our body will not be performing that function. So importance of balanced diet is that balanced diet is very much required for normal functioning of our body, to keep us healthy, to keep us fit. All these information is written here in described form, but in short, we can say that with the help of balanced diet, we remain healthy, we remain fit, and we don't have any disease if we are having balanced diet. So here you can see one example that there are also higher risk of obesity and other disease that make up metabolic syndrome like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. Hence, every individual must consume a balanced diet in order to protect themselves from all the risk mentioned above. So if you are not having balanced diet, I will take just one example, and that example is of iron. This is an example like what if we are not having balanced diet. So iron is a mineral, and iron is present in most of the green leafy vegetable and all. If we are not having proper amount of iron in our diet, then what will happen? Iron is basically, you have read circulatory system. Have you completed circulatory system in anatomy and physiology?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, okay. So iron is a component of our red blood cells, RBC. Iron is a very much a very important component of our red blood cell, RBC. What RBC? What is the function of RBC in our body? RBC basically carry oxygen to different part of our body. Now, if we are not having proper amount of iron in our body, what will happen? RBC production will be decreased, because we don't have enough raw material. Then how can we manufacture RBC? If we are having less amount of iron, RBC production will be decreased and oxygen transport will be decreased. Our muscle will not get enough oxygen. Our brain will not get enough oxygen. So this is a small mistake we are doing, that we are not having proper amount of iron. Then how big is the consequence? The consequence can be, in initial stage, we will feel weakness, because in absence of oxygen, our body can't produce energy. You all know that oxygen is very much required for production of energy. So if our body don't have proper amount of oxygen, then our body can't produce that much energy. First consequence will be our body will feel weakness. First consequence will be weakness. Then after after this consequence, if we are not taking iron yet, then what will happen? Then there will be some more consequences, like If our muscle is not getting that oxygen, then it's okay. If our hand muscle is not getting that oxygen, then it's okay for us. There will be only numbness in our hand and all. But what if our brain don't get proper oxygen? What if our heart don't get proper oxygen? So this condition is called anemia. I think all of you knew about this. This is anemia. So anemia is when we don't have proper amount of iron in our diet, our RBC production is decreased, and that's why our cells and our tissue do not get proper amount of oxygen. So if our brain and if our heart will not get proper amount of oxygen, then consequence will be very much fatal. Many of the people get brain stroke because of this iron deficiency anemia only. Many of the people get heart attack this because of this iron deficiency anemia only, because the heart is not getting proper amount of oxygen. So you can see that even a small mineral is very much important in our body, and that's why balanced diet is very much important. If any of the minerals is left behind, then function of that mineral in our body will not be done, and there will be some consequence definitely. That's why this balanced diet is that much important. Okay, so now we will discuss in detail about balanced diet, like what factor need to be considered. So the food we intake, it is made up of simple components, and we call these components nutrients. This is the definition of nutrient. The food we consume break down into simpler form before it is absorbed and utilized in our body. These simpler substances are called nutrient. So whether you are having sugar, whether you are having salt, whether you are having chapati, whether you are having rice, all those food contains nutrient. All those food after digestion, all those food will be degraded into simpler form, and we call this simpler form as nutrients. Have you done a digestive system in anatomy?
Sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think all of you are quite aware of these nutrients. So most food that we consume have more than one nutrients. Like uh, in carbohydrate, we generally give example of potato. Potato have starch, but in potato with carbohydrate, there are also many nutrients. It is possible that one nutrient is present in much amount and one nutrient is present in very less amount. But most of the time, every food item contain more than one nutrient. The nutritive content of a food item is called nutritive value. So this is important. What is nutritive value? How much nutrition a food is giving to us? That is called as nutritive value. For example, you are having, we can say rajma. All of you know about rajma?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay, in English, it is kidney bean. So if you are having 100 grams of rajma, how much carbohydrate you are getting, how much protein you are getting, how much fat you are getting, how much minerals you are getting, how much vitamin you are getting. This is called nutritive value. So nutritive value is none other than how much nutrient are present in a food. This is called nutritive value of any food. If you generally, if you purchase a packet items from outside, they have written nutritive values there also. Like this Lay's packet contain this much carbohydrate, this cold drink contain this much sugar, this much fat. So all the nutrient present in a food, we call this as nutritive value. So based on the amount of nutrient needed by our body, we divide nutrients into two categories. First one is macronutrient and other one is micronutrient. Okay, sorry. There is one more classification. All the nutrients are classified into two categories. I will write here and I will explain here. All the nutrients can be classified into two categories. First category is this one, nutritive components. And the other category is non-nutritive component. First one is nutritive components and other one is non-nutritive component. So we are classifying nutrients. So what is the basis of classification? The basis of classification is that nutritive components have some nutritive, like what we discussed here, this one, nutritive value. So nutritive components have some nutritive value in them. And non-nutritive components don't have any nutritive value. So in simple words, we can say that nutritive components are giving us nutrition and non-nutritive components are not giving us nutrition. They don't have any nutritive value. So can you give any nutrients having which comes under non-nutritive component?
Water, sir.
Yeah, very good. Water. Other one?
Fiber.
Yes, other one is fibers. Very good. So both these are non-nutritive components. Non-nutritive components means these are not giving any nutrition to us, but that doesn't mean these are not important for us. We are very much aware that how much important is water for us, and those who are having constipation and all, that are all because of less amount of fibers in food. So water and fiber are non-nutritive component, means these are not giving us nutrition. These have zero nutritive value. But again, I am repeating, this doesn't mean that these are not important. These are very much important. Nutritive components means those nutrients which gives us some nutrition. So again, these nutritive components are divided into two categories. First one is macronutrient. Other one is micronutrient. So what is the basis of this classification? On which basis we are classifying nutritive components into macro and micro?
Nutrition value.
Not nutrition value. We already classify on the basis of nutritive value into nutritive component and not non-nutritive component. We can see there is one word macro and other one micro. So I think you will get an idea on which basis
Sir,
we are.
macro, if we look at the percentage, macronutrients are needed in larger quantities. Micronutrients are needed in smaller quantities.
Yes, very good. So we are classifying on the basis of amount of quantity. Quantity needed by our body. So in my background, Ganesh Chaturthi celebration is going on. So is there any background noise?
No, sir.
You all are celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you also giving time for your studies. It is very good. Okay, amount of quantity needed by our body. So those nutrients which are needed by our body in large quantity, in heavy quantity. Those nutrients which are needed by our body in large quantity, those are called macronutrients. These are needed in large quantity. And if we talk about micronutrient, these nutrients are needed in small quantity. So one more question is there. Is it like macronutrient are more important for us than micronutrient? Is it like that?
No, no, no. We need both.
Okay, very good. All of you, please make sure and make it clear that macronutrient and micronutrient are equally important for us, are equally beneficial for us, but on the basis of quantity needed by our body, these are classified. Like macronutrient are needed in large quantity. Like you can see, we have large amount of rice, we have large amount of chapati. But if we talk about salt, it is in very small quantity because salt contain micronutrient and that rice and chapati contain macronutrient. By that quantity, you can assume that macronutrient needed in large quantity and micronutrient needed in small quantity. Again, I am repeating that both are needed and both have equal importance in our body. So what is the large quantity and what is this small quantity? This will be written uh, in this slide. Okay, these are nutrients needed in relatively large amount and they constitute the majority of an individual diet. So if we talk about how much quantity, our diet will contain almost we can say 90 to 95 90 to 95 percentage of macronutrient and just 5 to 6% of micronutrient is present in our diet. So macronutrient are carbohydrate, protein, and fat. These all are macronutrient. These all are needed by our body in large quantity. Now let's talk about micronutrient. Micronutrient, these are nutrients that are required in very small amount in our body, and minerals and vitamins are included in micronutrient. Like I gave you example and large amount of rice and chapati we usually take. So micronutrient are needed in very small amount, but these are very much important for normal functioning of our body. As I gave example of iron, iron is required in very small amount, like in microgram, not even in milligram, microgram. We need iron in microgram. Microgram is very small unit, then gram, then milligram, then after microgram is there. So we required iron in microgram, but iron is very much important. We already seen the consequence of iron deficient anemia. So main function of micronutrient is to enable various chemical reaction to our body. And to summarize all of this, we can say that macronutrient gives us energy. Macronutrients form the basic framework of our body, and micronutrient do some vital functions in our body. Micronutrients generally don't provide us energy. Micronutrients generally don't form the basic framework of our body, like our skin, our nails. These all are formed by macronutrient, not by micronutrient. Micronutrient carry out some basic reaction, carry out some chemical reaction that are very much important for our survival. So these are macronutrient and micronutrient. I'm not going to cover this in detail in this slide because after this slide, we will cover this in complete detail. Like we will discuss carbohydrate, we will discuss protein in complete detail. So I am not going to repeat that. We will take only once. So it's your homework that go through this slide and read about carbohydrate, protein, and fat. I have given an introduction of all these nutrients. Afterwards, when we discuss carbohydrate in detail, we will cover these points also in that class. So you can go through these all points. Okay, in next class, we will discuss food group, then we will start carbohydrate. So today's is our basic class. That's why I really keep it slow. Is it very slow or is it very fast?
It's just right, sir. It's neither too fast nor slow.
Okay, thank you. Then we will keep this speed. Any doubt? Any of you having?